Let's check in with Haley Winslow. Hopefully she can hear us as well.
Alex, yes, I can. We're on Marine View Drive with some kind of interesting information. So, first of all, we have this ember cast. So see just where this beautiful home was that is completely gone now, and you can see the shower of embers coming off of it. There's not a whole lot left of it. But what firefighters are trying to do is keep those embers from, obviously, you know, they can travel up to even 2 miles, keep them from starting new fires. The problem, they're out of water. So this is Ventura County Fire Station, and the fire hydrant is dry. And the problem is, it's not just dry here, it's dry on the whole water grid. So this whole area of Camarillo is basically out of water. So one house usually would have about 30 firefighters working on it. If one house is on fire, there's 3 of them here. And I just walked by them a minute ago, and they looked so defeated. And I said, "Are you guys okay?" And they said, "We're out of water. We're completely out of water." So they've obviously notified their boss, but everyone's dealing with the same problem. These fire hydrants, they run dry, and usually they said it's like a continuous kind of like replenishing system, but there's nothing left. Like, there's nothing more to replenish. So that's why they were talking about earlier, saying California American Water Company was asking people in the area not to use any water, which I'm sure they haven't, but there's just so many houses on fire they're trying to fight. And now they don't have any water to do it with. So I don't know how deep the problem goes, but I know in this general area of Camarillo, the firefighters are saying it's not just them.
Let's talk about the area there for a minute, Haley. At the news conference, they talked about working with the water companies and bringing in water tenders, those fire trucks that carry the water. Are you seeing any of those trucks with water?
No, so they're completely out. There's one fire engine here, number 134 from Ventura County. Look at their hoses. They've nothing left to do. They have no water to work with. So I'm sure they have a system in place because they've dealt with, you know, the Woolsey fire. I know there was issues with that too, but aware that there's other issues in this Camarillo area. But they said that this grid area, they're afraid, I don't want to misquote, but they said they're afraid that the grid area is dry. So I don't know how deep that goes, but I know that they can't do anything else. What they were doing, you know, you see them spraying water on these houses, and you're like, you know, what are they really doing? There's not a whole lot of benefit from it, but what they're doing is they're fighting the ember cast, so like the embers that come off of the trees or off of this house, and they're just trying to keep it from spreading even further. And so that's what they were doing until they ran out of water.
We want to bring into the conversation right now Tony McHale, who's a fire captain with Ventura County Fire. He talked to us on the phone a few hours ago during our coverage, and we're grateful to have him back in our coverage right now. Since we last talked, do we have an update in terms of numbers, in terms of number of people on this, any new information?
Yeah, so what I have is a different number for the acreage, and we are approximately at 10,480 acres at the moment, and fire is still very active. There's still lots of active fire, especially Camarillo Heights area, and also the south side of South Mountain. So as far as personnel, we have numerous resources coming in due to the California mutual aid system that we have. So lots of orders were placed to get additional resources down there, strike teams of engines, dozers, hand crews, what we call ground pounders. They're all coming in. So they're coming in at different intervals, but we are receiving much needed resources, and currently though we're fully committed, especially to some of the problematic areas, the Camarillo Heights area, because there's lots of residences in that area that are impacted. We don't have a definitive number on structures that have been destroyed, but we know it's a considerable number. And there have been a number of civilian injuries that were reported. I don't have details on the nature of the injuries, but I do know that we have a couple of civilian injuries. I have not heard of any injuries to firefighters at this time. If that information comes our way, we'll definitely contact everybody and let them know. But right now, it's going to be a very long night. We have all the resources out there committed doing structure protection ops. The two priorities are life safety, number one, life safety, and then, of course, structure protection ops. There's zero containment because when we're in this mode, dealing with extreme fire weather like this, we are strictly into life safety and structure protection. And then when the opportunity arises and conditions improve, then we start getting into containment. But right now, our priorities are focused on human life.
Captain, let me ask you a question here. You talked about the different mutual aid support you're getting right now, the dozers, the hand crews. At this hour, it's dark out. What's the focus right now? I'm looking at a live shot here. I see fire trucks on the ground there. I don't know if that's structure protection or some fighting the fire itself. But how do you fight this at night? Do you have any choppers flying? Is there any water dropping happening?
Yeah, we were using helicopters most of the day. The conditions didn't warrant the use of fixed wing aircraft. It was just too risky with the winds. So we had a number of helicopters working the fire. These are incredible professional firefighters that are out there. We train, we do this. This is our calling. This is what we do. So it's rain or shine, night or day, we're out there doing our job, especially during a big incident like this. So what you're seeing are different engine companies, parts of strike teams, and other resources that are deployed in the neighborhoods and places that are problematic, and they're just continuing with their structure protection ops. Now, of course, night brings a whole other dimension as far as visibility and things like that. So we have to be very, very careful and safe. But we're out there. We're going to stay out there until we get a handle on this thing.
We just saw from our reporter Haley Winslow a real struggle to get water for some of the crews out there. Can you explain why that is and what's going on in terms of water to fight this fire?
Well, it depends on where we are on the fire front. You go to the Camarillo Heights, there's gullies, very steep hillsides. There's kind of rugged terrain in there. So a lot of the water systems, I believe, have to use pump systems. So there, when it's under stress like that, there's probably there could be malfunctions, or sometimes the power could be an issue, the power outage. But sometimes water supply, and this happens quite a bit in areas like that, where water supply becomes problematic. But we overcome it by having water tenders. And, engines will shuttle water up there. And then we were working with our partners with the local water companies, to get the water pressure up. So I know they've been working on resolving some of those issues. But, water supply can be a challenge, especially when you're drawing on multiple hydrants. And there's any number of problems that can emerge with that. That happened during the Thomas fire as well. So I don't have any specific information on that, but this is 30 years of experience. And, we did hear some reports that there were some water supply issues, but like I said, we overcome. The motto in the fire service is adapt and overcome. We problem solve, and, we'll get water. So we resolve that with water tenders and shuttling.